I'm Micah Rustichelli. I'm a Meanjin-based painter and performance artist, and I've been working in my arts practice which deals with the queer body for about 5 or 6 years now. My current practice concerns is exploring the selfhood of the body and how does this body represent itself when my thought process and my decision making is taken out of the equation. It comes from a lot of consideration of queer theory and the relationship that queer people have to a physical body and a physical form, and where that intersects with identity, how we move through the world. So yeah, I became very curious with what is it on the outside of this body that tells people who I am and what I am, if I was to take my face and my internal personality out of the equation. I started exploring reflexes and instincts, trying to look at the things that are housed within my body that give it motion that I'm not always thinking of. The way I always try to explain it is how once you learn to ride a bike, your body always knows how to ride a bike without you thinking about it. But yet our body still does these things in very small, different ways to each other. So a body which draws itself is trying to quantify the identity of my physical form. And I think it's going to become a much more relevant conversation going forward, what it means to have a physical body and what it means to modify the physical body. And we're starting to enter some very interesting discussions on what is an identity, what is a form, what is a body that has an autonomy in the real world versus a virtual world. I was a dancer and a theatre nerd when I was younger, so I'm quite comfortable with stages and audience. There's definitely a different mental place you go into when you feel like you're being watched. For me, that journey was I always film myself when I'm in my studio. I'm constantly filming myself painting. And I noticed a difference in my output when I was filming myself versus when I'm not filming myself. So I became very interested in what's the psychology of an artist who is being watched. Currently, to be an artist these days, you're inherently a performer as well. We're at a point in art history where any act of creation is an act of performativity. So I just thought, screw it, let's make it an actual, real, tangible performance with audience in the room. The feeling people get, that I've been told they get when they look at my artworks, ranges from very gooey and romantic all the way to disgusted and appalled, which is a lovely place to live in. My goal is always to look at what is beautiful from one perspective and disgusting from another, and how transient those terms are. Particularly as queer people, we play by a whole different set of rules and a whole different set of standards, and we come from a very different tradition of art making. So yeah, I'm always looking for that playful thing that makes one person feel good and another person feel very, very uncomfortable. I don't normally gravitate towards competitive environments, but this was something that I knew would be surrounded by so much love and support. Ultimate Showdown had like 92 moments of queer excellence on stage. Honestly, I feel very lucky to have been in the first round, because then I just had like 5 weeks of wonderful gigs to go to where I wasn't thinking about competition. It was the whole spectrum of the arts and the whole spectrum of artistic ethos, which I enjoyed. There were people there who have rigorous, trained, everything is pinpoint precise when I perform. And then there were people who are just these energy balls running across the stage, and there is value to both of those ideas. Coming in as a visual artist, you often feel like you're a little bit separated from the queer performance arts. So I was just there to have a good time, do my thing, paint with my butthole, be a little bit silly. There was almost like when I won that first week, there was almost a little feeling of like, oh, I didn't really plan past this point. Eek, now I have to do this thing. It feels really good to be seen and understood by people, especially working in a space where I'm equal parts trying to be something that is beautiful and disgusting. It's nice that people can recognize that and see like, no, we can accept and support both sides of this coin. More recent art history has seen such a division of art forms, of painting is something that happens in a studio, goes to a gallery, is looked at where people can't stand within a meter of it. Drag is something that happens in a nightclub, in people's faces, and it's done these 7 specific ways. I think we're in an exciting time of everything kind of folding back in, especially when you look at the most exciting parts of art history has been when queer people have been hanging out with sculptors, performers, dancers, sex workers, everyone contributing to each other's conversations, and that is the breeding ground for creative flow and creative communities. The greatest lie that has been told to an artist is that this is a competitive field. It is not. There is enough opportunity for all of us. There are enough stages for all of us. The onus is on us to create those opportunities for one another. We waste so much time thinking that we are competing with each other that we both lose an opportunity. That doesn't make any sense. I am so passionate about art being recognized as a verb, not a noun. Art is a doing thing. If you don't do it, you can't be it. And if you can't be it, you're not going to see it. I encourage anyone who is in any way inclined artistically to go out there and do it, and if you're not going out there and doing it, go out and watch it.